2010 Young Lions Cup, the first class male Steve Stamp is back. Everybody knows that last year I made my debut at the Young Lions Cup here at All Pro Wrestling. Going underneath the radar, I made it all the way to the semifinals. Now that I think about it, I was actually screwed out in the second round when I sucker punched Dave Dutra in the stomach, and the referee thought that it was a low blow. I don't even think that idiot works here anymore because the first class male Steve Stamp got him fired. Now, 2010, I've remained more focused, trained harder, and spent more time in the ring and in the gym than I ever have before. This year in the first round, I get Danielson, the big 2009 winner. Big deal. The guy's been out of action for, 6 months with a hurt wing? I've already known my strategy here. I'm going to take him, and I'm going to rip his shoulder right out of his socket. And then, I'm going to go on all the way to the finals. And I'm going to win it. Next month, I think I'll actually get my retribution against Dave Dutra when hopefully he retains his title, and I could take away the APW Internet Champion. That's when you know all the endorsements, all the crowds, all the big money contracts are coming in to the first class male, Steve Stamp.
All Pro Wrestling 2010 Young Lions Cup. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Danielson. And for those of you who do, you recognize that last year I came here to All Pro Wrestling, made my debut early in the year, and came in at the Young Lions Cup and won 3 matches in one night. In the first round, I wrestled Johnny Plinko. Took him to the limit, beat him. Second round, took on Elliot Fox. Everything he could do, flying all over the place. It didn't matter, because when it came down to it, I put him down. And in the finals, I had probably one of the greatest matches of my life against the now APW Internet Champion, Dave Dutra. Since the Young Lions Cup, Dave succeeded beyond all parallel. I couldn't be happier for him. And me, well, last summer I blew out my shoulder at a show. And it took me a long time to realize that I wanted to come back. And this year, they told me I'm wrestling the first class male Steve Stamp in the first round. And Steve, I heard what you said. Talk about how you're going to take my shoulder out. Steve, you don't even realize this is all I've been thinking about, all I've been talking about, all I've been dreaming about. Tonight, you're going out in the first round, and I will dominate again, show everyone here that I'm the real deal, and I'm going to win the 2010 Young Lions Cup.
Let's get back to the action now, fans. Jason Anderson alongside Johnny LaRocca. Thank you for tuning in this morning to KFTY Channel 50, Digital 199, every Saturday, 11 a.m. for Gym Wars. This is the 2010 Young Lions Cup, and our next matchup features the real deal Dan Danielson taking on this man, Steve Stamp, the first class male.
You know what? Unlike Rowan Alexander, my counterpart in APW, I really like Steve Stamp. I think this kid has a lot of potential. I think he kind of reminds me when I was managing. He kind of reminds me of some of the guys I used to manage, like an Ego, like an AJ Kirsch. He's still a little wet behind the ears. He's still a little when it comes to experience. But I think eventually Steve Stamp can be a major player in All Pro Wrestling.
That's funny that you mentioned that, Johnny, because, as you said, Rowan Alexander is definitely not a fan of Steve Stamp.
And I understand that, Steve Stamp can get under your skin. He buzzes a baby oil, he oils up, but, he's highly talented. And last year, 2009 Young Lions Cup, he didn't make it to the semifinals. He got caught using a low blow on Dave Dutra, got disqualified. Here, he's trying to make up for that mistake and come out the winner of the 2010 Young Lions Cup.
Stamp is facing a big task in the first round, taking on the real deal, Dan Danielson, the 2009 winner who beat Dave Dutra in the finals. That was quite the matchup, Johnny. I had the privilege to sit down with Dave Dutra for a special that you see on a future DVD talking about that match. That was quite the matchup. Both men really beat up heading in that final match.
And it's almost like it's a different year, but almost the same story for Dan Danielson. In 2009, he was engulfed in a heated rivalry with the Stone Mountain Larry Blackwell. Larry Blackwell, just like he did to Mr. Wrestling 4, crushed the ribs of Dan Danielson. Many people thought he was going to come back from that injury. He did. He came in with, not 100%. He was probably like 70%. He had the ribs taped up. He came out. He wrestled 3 matches that night, that on a single night for that tournament. and he came out the victor. Now here, back in 2009 of August, after being such a role, after winning that tournament, he was working wrestling on a show in a small venue out in San Francisco. He went for his infamous shoulder tackle in the corner. His opponent moved out of the way. He came crashing right to that ring post, separated that shoulder. The doctor said, "Hey, you cannot wrestle again. You can have surgery on it." Dan Danielson said, "No, I want to wait it out. I want to get back to the ring." And he was thinking about retiring, but once 2010 Young Lions Cup came around, it is the honor of the champion to come back and defend his crown within the tournament. And he wanted to come back. At first, he went to a doctor. They said, "No, you can't wrestle." Then he got another clearance. And finally, All Pro said, "Okay, you're good to go." He's in this tournament again, still 70%. But you know what? The real deal. That's what he calls himself, and it's true. I think he has a great. He has the best chance of repeating of any past winner.